Today is January 13th, 2018, and I was in Hawaii when the ballistic missile threat alert came in. I don't think anyone can really quite understand what it's like to feel like your life is over, will be over in a matter of minutes. I don't think you can adequately have empathy, sympathy, or quite grasp the feeling and wave of emotion and thoughts and fears and reflections that you have in those minutes until the time where you realize that it was false. I was in Maui. I was in my hotel, woke up a little early, and I looked at my phone and I noticed a text message from my coworker with a screenshot of the alert that came in through her phone. The word says, "This is not a drill, seek shelter." Your brain just kind of freezes and shuts down at that moment. Like, this is something that you see in a movie. It's something that you would never think that happens to you. When I looked at the message, I replied, I was like, WTF, is this real? And immediately she called me. She checked with the front desk of the hotel, and the front desk confirmed that this was a real alert, that it was not a drill. So what do we do? And the hotel staff said, just stay in your room. Not knowing what to do, just stay in your room with a bomb threat. What do I do with that? I guess I just froze. I kind of sat in my bed and really just paralyzed. I just had the thought that if a missile was in fact coming, there is nothing that I could do. There's nowhere that I can run. There's nowhere that I can hide from that. And death is just imminent. Just a whole bunch of thoughts were running through my brain. Like, I'm a mom of 3 children, and I was going to die without anyone knowing that I was there, that what was happening or anything. And so I was calm in the moment, but freaking out in my spirit and my being, and it just weighed super heavy on me. About 40 minutes later, received word that this was false. There was no missile threat. In that moment, you're happy because you're alive, but then you have this whole new wave of thoughts like, how could that possibly be? How could it be that someone pushed a wrong button? Something so serious and so final. And talking to a lot of people at the airport and on the plane, there were a gamut of emotions. So a woman said, I'm pregnant with my 3rd baby, and I have 2 of my other babies with me, and thinking, how are we all about to die? There was another couple who said in their hotel, there were alarms going off. They were ushering people to a room, and there were just a mass amount of people in one room, not knowing what was going on, not knowing if they were going to die, not knowing when the missile was going to hit, and just waiting for something, information, or waiting to die. There were people that were scattering on the beach, that were running, trying to take cover. I mean, it was just chaos and sadness and, helplessness. Just something, again, that just an experience that, bonded people in just this thought that you were not going to be living anymore. The hotel that we were in were ill prepared, and they didn't know what to do. They didn't know what to tell us. There were no alarms going off. They told us to stay in our rooms, but that didn't really do any good. So I think there were a lot of people that were frustrated because there was no instruction, and people didn't know what to do. You can prepare for a hurricane, you prepare for a tsunami, you can somewhat prepare for an earthquake, but how do you prepare for a missile threat? As tourists, you're a little more vulnerable because you're either in a hotel or a condo, or you don't know where to go. You don't know if there are bomb shelters, if there are underground shelters, if there are places to go in incidences of natural disasters. As a tourist, you rely on your hotel staff, you rely on, the people around you to tell you what to do. And I think the hotels and the staff were very ill prepared to deal with something of this magnitude. So I'm hoping from this experience, the island hotels and places that cater to tourists will really arm themselves with information and knowledge and be prepared in the event, heaven forbid, that something like this were to happen. In the end, I'm glad to be here. When I was landing in Los Angeles, I was so happy to see those lights on the 405. Who would ever be happy to see those red lights on the 405? But they were just like sweet music to me to see those lights and to touch down back on the mainland. And here in LA, there was nothing quite like it. So what an experience. I'm gonna go get me a glass of wine and sit and soak it in and watch me a movie and call it a day. That's it, y'all.